So I was thinking the other day, I got, my ex-girlfriend gave me that really nice watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, I gave that back and now I don't have a watch.
Oh yeah.
Because my initial thought was like, well, I'm going to keep this watch forever, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you my Apple Watch just because I'm not going to wear it.
Yeah.
And then now I don't have one. And
Yeah. It's awkward.
yeah.
Oh, dude, why don't you go buy out? Why don't you go out and buy, a classier watch, shall I say, than an Apple Watch? Now I'm the Apple douche with the Apple
you are.
Watch, but I fit in
I know.
because everyone else, literally, I think every other person at my work has an Apple Watch, but like one person,
Yeah. You're welcome.
and now I'm the cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really, but Oh yeah, it's about to get lit.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, I guess.
It's actually like 7 here, but okay. Don't judge me.
Somewhere in the world, it's 5 o'clock or
Well,
later.
yeah, and your point is?
I'm just saying it's alcohol time.
Oh, yeah. Any time is that time.
So,
welcome back, Nick.
welcome back.
Yeah.
Connor has risen from the dead.
I did. I rose from. Call me
He is,
Jesus, and I rose from the grave.
He has risen from the grave.
I have.
He died in surgery.
Yeah, I flatlined on the table, and they had to give me those. What is it? The save shot where they just stick you with a needle and just. What happened?
Pretty much.
That would be
You
hilarious.
had to learn how to like poop and talk and
Dude.
walk all again. It was pretty disgusting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't quite go that far, but it did suck.
Pretty awful.
It really did suck.
Your jaw fell off. And they had to reattach it.
Reattach it.
and,
All sorts of shit happened.
pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I just gotta go out there and put that. So yeah, welcome back from hell.
Thank you.
How was hell?
It,
Did you see my seat plattered? With my name on it. The platinum seat.
yeah.
Because
It had
up.
it had one of the, it had the little card, the tabletop card name tag
Yeah.
for your seat. It was bedazzled and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, he got my memo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I reached out to him. It was like 214-666.
2146.
I think it was like 12345 or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember. Anyway,
1666. Hail Satan.
yeah. Hail Satan.
Yes.
So basically, I
By the
reached
way,
out
that's
to
a
him.
joke for anyone who's gonna get offended by that. No, I don't really care though. But still.
It's not a joke.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah, I really-
You actually worship Satan.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I was reaching out to
All right, then.
Lucifer, Satan, Antichrist himself. That's his full name, by the way.
Good to know.
And I got a seat reserved for my name on it.
That's cool.
So I'm glad you saw it down there. It means he
Can
kept
you
his word.
can you put in a good word for me?
Well, you had already chatted with him for a bit.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's right. I did.
that's why I was making sure you saw my seat. So
Yeah, it was there. I saw it.
was it hotter?
I floated right over your
Yeah.
seat.
Was it hot?
Not as much as everyone thinks it is.
Was it like 76 on your thermostat?
It smelled weird. It smelled like burning sulfur.
That's like rotten eggs.
Yeah, it's quite different, but it's
is
probably a lot worse.
Is it like when you put your thermostat to like 76 in your apartment?
It's pretty awful.
So it's like uncomfortably warm.
I think that's actually worse than hell. I think hell.
That's what I'm thinking. So like maybe hell is just uncomfortably warm.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not.
It's
fun.
not like flaming.
1 out
your
of 10
skin's
would not
boiling.
recommend.
It's just uncomfortably warm.
Yeah, it's not. It's not quite to where my skin will just start melting off my arms when it's like 76 degrees in my apartment.
Yeah,
which
it's like that.
never happens.
It's like that
by the
awkward
way.
temperature where you're like, well, I want to wear a t-shirt, but I don't want to wear jeans, but I don't want to get swamp ass. So I'm gonna wear shorts, but I don't want to wear shorts because it's it's not quite hot enough. It's just in between that awkward state. Mm-hmm. It sounds like hell. Yeah.
Pretty sure it's a lot worse. But
So,
anyways,
in the about month hiatus that El Connor and myself have taken, Connor had a lisp for a little bit because of a retainer
I did.
in his mouth. He was like, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
I just got my mouth all
Yeah,
fixed."
that
What
was
do you
actually
think?
and that was actually after the first week because the first week after my surgery, I had to spend a night in the hospital, which sucked, by the way.
Yeah, please go into detail about.
shout out to my parents for taking taking care of my poor ass.
Just go ahead and give us a really in-depth, gruesome,
So-
extreme, detailed
I won't
synopsis
go, I won't
of your
go
surgery.
that detailed, but yeah, the first week sucked because I couldn't talk at all. My mouth was pretty much wired shut, and I heard that, I was told, they don't really wire your mouth shut. Well, it's like when I think of a mouth being wired shut, I actually, for some reason, I think of like the horror movie where actually people are like their lips are stitched shut.
Yeah.
It's not like that, obviously, but it pretty much was wired. Like I couldn't separate my jaw.
There were so many rubber bands on your teeth,
like,
right?
Yeah, like I couldn't separate my teeth for more than probably a millimeter just because the bands were so tight.
That makes sense.
It was awful, and it
Go ahead
sucked
and backtrack though. So like,
because I'll get to that. I know what you're going.
Okay.
But what sucks is like, not only am I swollen on my jaw, my teeth, my gums, my whole effing face, but like my nasal cavities were, not only do I have allergies really bad, just seasonal, and that's another that sucks and by itself, but my nose was swollen and numb too. So there's a lot of scabbing and blood and swollen shut of the nose. So I had to pretty much get re-addicted to Afrin for a good couple weeks because and that's literally like how I was able to breathe.
Jeez.
Because you can kind of breathe out your mouth, but it still feels like you're suffocating. It's not fun. So in order for me to sleep decently and function decently throughout the day and not feel like I'm being suffocated. One, I couldn't be very active, obviously, because then your heart rate goes up and I'm already out of shape. And so I was like, I have to use Afrin to be able to breathe out my damn nose. So that sucked. But yeah, the night I had to spend in the hospital with my sainted mother, she she took care of me. She spent the night in the hospital with me because she's just a wonderful person.
What a sweet lady.
I know. And so... yeah, so I woke up, and that's exactly like, I don't remember waking up, but I do, if that makes any sense at all. So like the first thing I remember coming out of surgery is, I'm like, I'm kind of panicking. Like I literally, that was like like I couldn't breathe because I hardly could. And they had tubes up my nose and had an effing catheter in. So that sucked. And I was told that they were going to take the catheter out before I woke up. That wasn't the case. So I woke up and had tubes. They pulled the tubes out of my nose, which were probably a good 6 inches, and that felt weird. And again, keep this in mind: I can't talk, so I can't tell anyone, hey, I'm in pain, like this sucks, or like I can't tell anyone anything at this point right now. And she was like, all right, we're going to take your catheter out now. I was like, oh, so that, so she, and I can't, I'm just like, well, let's get this over with.
Just rip it.
Yeah, and she was like,
Rip
all
it
right,
and rip it,
1,
man.
2, 3, and just yanks it out of my pee-pee.
Can we just take a minute of silence for just...
Yeah, R.I.P. the inside of my urethra. No, it's better now. I did feel like I had AIDS for a good day or two, or a couple days after that, because it hurt to use the facilities. The first time I got up, so this was another low moment of that hospital stay. So when I was, I got moved to my room where I'd stayed the night, and I'm in this bed, your little hospital bed. I'm all propped up, and one of the things that obviously, like they just cut open my mouth and this and that, so I'm bleeding a lot in the back corners of my mouth, right? So they actually have this little suction tool that's always on, and they tell you to snake it kind of behind your between your cheeks and your teeth to suck out all the blood because you bleed a lot. And
I'm gonna have to put like a
Obviously.
warning, like
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
gratuitous material incoming.
yeah, yeah. But so
it gets worse. So, just prepare yourselves. Don't eat lunch.
So, yeah, don't eat. Don't listen to this while you're eating. But so I was trying to use that as much as I could, but again, you're bleeding all for pretty much the whole time.
I imagine it's
So
kind of
it
the
just-
same
it goes
sensation of like when you get like phlegm or snot like from your nose into
Yeah.
the back of your throat.
Oh yeah, that's.
I'm assuming it's like that, but
You
it's
can't do anything
worse
about
because
it?
it's just so much more blood.
Yeah, well,
so I'm
that-
assuming a lot of that's getting
Yeah.
into your throat and your stomach
So
and stuff.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So you end up swallowing a lot of blood. So and if you know anything about that, you swallow a lot of blood, you're gonna get really nauseous.
Yeah.
So I had I was trying to consume something in liquid form as I'm sleeping throughout the day, and they're like, you gotta have something,
You had to
like
consume
juice.
it through a syringe, right?
Yeah, that sucked by itself, but I was very excited to consume apple juice and some generic brand Sprite. And that's what triggered it.
And again, through a syringe.
Yeah, so yes, it's essentially like a big giant syringe with a little tube on the end of it, like a little floppy 6-inch tube, where again you have to snake that behind or between your teeth and your cheek to consume anything for the first week while my jaw was wired shut.
My gag reflex would not.
No, it was terrible. So I, as I'm drinking this carbonated beverage for the first time, I think I just did it either one a little too quick or it just didn't sit right with my stomach.
Or the carbonation just mixed
Yeah.
with all that junk
Yeah.
in your stomach.
So, well, it's all blood.
Yeah, it's
So-
probably the
yeah.
carbonation probably mixed with that. And
Yeah.
caused-
So I'm sitting in my hospital bed and I'm just like, So I like sat up and I'm like looking alarmed probably. And my mom's right next to me and she's kind of like I used to be, where like, and I'm still kind of like this. Like when I see or hear people throw up, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of weird. I'm just like, I don't want to hear that. I want to see it. I want to hear it. But anyways, she's probably that times 10 though.
For me, it's just the smell. I guess it's because I've been to so many parties where girls are having
Well, like you talking about like alcohol, like re-smelling like liquor and
or
stuff.
just the smell of throw up. Again,
I
this is
guess maybe I don't have a generic like thought in my head of what does throw up smell like.
it's a weird thing to bring up. Just a
guess.
quick tangent, but
I can understand the alcohol thing.
I've just been to so many college parties where girls are thrown up, and you try to be a nice guy and hold their hair while
Oh,
they're throwing
yeah,
up. So
okay.
like, you just there's
That I
a
could-
stench
oh yeah.
to throwing up, and that's
No, I
what
could
that's what
definitely
gets
see
my
that.
gag reflexes going. The sight of it's not pretty.
I would so much rather like huff the bottle of Jack than smell that. I would probably.
Yeah, it's the smell that gets me. It's not the sight's bad, but the smell is what gets me.
Yeah, and I
The
could see
sound I
that.
could care less about. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So, anyways, I after drinking that, I didn't sit right with my stomach, and I started to throw up just blood.
So you had to like.
So
what,
I was
grab
like,
the-
yeah. So like I was trying to grab off my little nightstand or makeshift nightstand they have, and I'm grabbing the little tub thing as I'm like trying to
like the little silver platter
hold-
tub.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, like the little peanut shaped, tray / tub thing
Yeah.
that you're supposed to throw up into. And yeah, so again, my mouth is wired shut, so it just whatever out the mouth and then the rest through my nose, and it's all blood. So that sucked too, and that burned.
That's so gross.
My poor mother had to, try and assist me in holding the thing, so that wasn't fun.
I could just imagine
Trying
like
to throw up when your mouth
like
is
think of an
wired shut.
object where like you have to seal it, and if you leave certain seals open, like
Yeah.
that spews out.
Oh, dude, it's awful.
So like with your
Yeah.
mouth being wired shut, like I bet like it's not like a
And it's like you want to dry heave, but you can't.
driving is the worst.
Yeah. But sometimes it's like you kind of got to do it to just get it over with.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's like, at this point, I'm trying not to do it again because it's just sucked.
Yeah, because normally
And-
when I'm throwing up, it's like full send. It's like
Oh,
just it's like
just-
fingers down the throat, like force it out.
Let's
like
get this over with.
yeah, because it just
Yeah, there's been a handful of times where I've just drank too much. I'm like, you know what? I probably should throw up. This is just not good. This is not going to end well.
yeah.
Let's
It's an
just get
excuse
this
to be
over with.
bulimic, you know.
Well, yeah,
Or
yeah, I don't know about that.
I think
but-
that's the right term.
yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, it was not fun. So I had that. I couldn't talk for a week. So I had to do a whole lot of the pulling out my phone and typing in the notes section and just showing.
Oh,
my
yeah, 'cause you couldn't talk.
It's like,
Yeah.
So because while I was in the hospital, they gave me a little notepad and a pen, and so I did that for a while, and that just took too damn long, and also my handwriting's terrible. And also, I'm just post surgery, so probably wasn't any. It was probably worse than it normally is.
Probably.
And so I got old real quick, and so I just started pulling up my phone, texting something, and then just showing it to my whoever I was trying to communicate with.
That's crazy.
And the telepathy wasn't working at the time, so I had to resort to the phone. So that I got. After a week, I was able to open my mouth, kind of they took the tight rubber bands off. I still had a splint in my mouth, and that's what you were talking about, the whole talking like a nerd from middle school, and like, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, I just gotta sit here and sip some Sprite.
And we did a recording that we may or may not release at any point in time.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. As long as we get approved from every member of the council. I think we may be able to. I've edited it heavily. It's good stories. But in that recording, you can hear me just like in the background, so silly, like
Dead.
I was dead. Yes. That was my ghost flying into the room from time to time, saying, "Hey, mention this," and then just leaving.
Yeah.
But I sounded like I had a splint in my mouth.
Yeah, you're like, hey guys, if you go and talk about this real quick,
Yeah, exactly.
Might be a clear idea.
Uh-huh. So just to
that
preface,
was
like and I just got that out like a week ago.
Yeah.
The splint, and so I had to have that in for 3 weeks essentially.
Ugh.
It sucked.
And just to preface, just in case, tuning in now, you had your jaw broken because of the underbite. And correct me if I'm wrong, they said that it potentially could get worse over time.
no question, it would.
So they said that they needed to re-break your jaw to push it back, so that way you have a regular overbite.
Yeah, and kind of align it better. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and like I said, the braces were going to make it worse. So that's why
is this your second time wearing braces, or is this your first time you're wearing braces?
It's my second time, but the last time was like middle school.
Yeah, that's
era.
right. Yeah,
But it wasn't full. It wasn't like the full brace. It was like oh dude, I can't imagine doing this shit again. It was like top retainer, bottom retainer, and like partial braces.
jeez. You know, it's funny. I never
It
had braces.
sucked.
Ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're fucking lucky.
I know. Like I had one girl I was on a date with, and she's like, "You have really nice teeth," and I was like,
You're like, yeah, well.
I was like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, lucky.
She's like, "Have you never worn braces?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." You know, I guess
She's probably just like, you suck.
probably.
Because people that don't.
You know, it's funny too. So I used to have a pretty big gap, like in my two front buck teeth or whatever. And I guess because I had 4 wisdom teeth, you know, like it's funny. Once the dentist figured out I had 4 wisdom teeth, like he was like, "Whoa, we need to get these out ASAP."
So you had that done too, right?
Yeah, so I had 4 wisdom teeth.
All 4 at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
That sucked.
So the
here.
top 2 pushed my 2 big teeth like closer together, so now
Yeah.
they're pretty much perfect.
Huh.
The bottom 2 did push in a little bit further.
So the crowding kind of worked in your favor for a little bit?
It did for the top. For the bottom, not quite as, because there's one tooth that's pushed back just a tiny bit, but it's
Yeah,
not
but
that
like,
bad.
dude, seriously, like, you don't need them, but you
Yeah.
are very lucky the fact that you don't have to go through that crap.
I agree.
Because, dude, seriously, like when I was in middle school, there was a point in time that probably, damn near a year or several months, somewhere in there, I had a top retainer, a bottom retainer, and partial braces. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that sucked. That's awful.
that
is-
sounds
yeah.
horrible. I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. However, the one thing I did have to go through. So when I was quite the young chap, back
Young lad.
in the 90s, I was like 1 ear infection away from pretty much death. Because they were saying that
Jesus
yeah, they
Christ.
said if you had like a certain amount of ear infections within the year, like it could potentially cause like a really high grade fever and then death. So I was one away, and
Crazy.
they put me on antibiotics to prevent another ear infection from coming. The problem is it was liquid antibiotics because it was the 90s. And at the time, I was losing teeth, but my adult teeth were coming in. So it actually stained my adult teeth yellow. So it's not quite as bad as it used to be, like growing up. But like that's why my teeth have never been like perfectly white. And it's just because of the...
What?
Yeah, like I brush my teeth twice a day. I floss. I
Well,
use
yeah,
mouthwash
but,
every
like-
day. But like...
What?
Yeah,
I didn't
like
know that.
yeah, it actually stained my teeth yellow growing up as a kid. Like they used to be much worse. Damn. It's not quite as bad nowadays, so I'm very thankful of that.
No.
But yeah, it's crazy how that works.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing for a while. I developed a bad habit of never really smiling with my teeth
Bruh,
because of that.
That you ever see me smile with teeth? Like
That's true. Most people usually don't if they're self-conscious, but it's crazy, you know.
Yeah, now I'm gonna feel weird smiling with teeth after I get my
Especially
braces
with your
off.
overbite now.
Oh, dude, like now, like I'll have a good smile. It's
gonna be crazy when you finally
like
get-
that. Yeah, it's just like cheesing hard as hell in a picture. That's just
So-
like dumb.
So you've got full braces now, correct? Mm-hmm. So I got to ask the question. What's the first thing you're going to eat when you get those braces off?
Probably Skittles.
Skittles, huh?
Skittles or popcorn or I don't know. Just a bunch of
Because
candy.
you've had braces on now for how long? Because you had the braces on before
Probably a
before the
year and a
surgery.
half.
Yeah,
probably a year and a half.
and you've got how much longer before they're off?
You know, I asked her that question when last appointment I had. She kind of beat around the bush, and I was kind of like, "Listen, listen to me. How long?" and I'm just screwing with her. You know, I was joking around. I get it. Like, no one's alike. You know, no one's case is alike. So it could take. I'm sure it could be 3 months. It could be 9 months. You know, it just depends. Hopefully, you know. Being that I'm still a young human being, relatively, you know, I guess compared to the other people that I am at the orthodontist with, I feel like such a weirdo because I'm like, I'm like the one that's mid-20s and everyone else is like 12,
That's funny.
which is also why.
Oh yeah, because you're at the place. Yeah, for braces. That's right. Yeah.
So everyone else.
Imagine
is,
the 40-year-olds
Dude.
that have like braces.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god.
I've seen one guy in there. One. And every time I've gone in there, I've only seen one dude that's been in there that's older than I am.
That's crazy.
Everyone else is in like early high school and middle school. Sometimes even younger.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So what's the point of having the braces on now? Is it just to bring them together? Bring
Yeah,
'em forward?
yeah. So
like,
that's what I was saying. I got the braces like because my teeth were kind of screwed up, but going into it, we knew that it was like braces, moving the teeth, and it was gonna essentially make my bite even worse. So that's why we were trying to get the whole insurance and surgery planned and made sure that was gonna happen before I got the braces on, so that I wouldn't have to worry about it, And then that cluster F of a storm with insurance was a nightmare. But anyways, yeah, it's hopefully I don't have to have them on for very long. But yeah, probably Skittles and Starburst, just a bunch of candy that I don't
all that sticky candy that
Yeah,
sticks to your teeth.
yeah.
So you don't have to worry about cleaning it out of your braces.
Yeah,
Man,
and
it
still
sucks.
even right now, it's like, well, it's not that. It's just that it's like really tough candy like that can actually like tear your braces up and your wires and
Oh
stuff.
jeez.
So yeah, and I've actually what's funny is I went to my last appointment for my orthodontist appointment, and like one of my brackets fell off, and she was like, "Oh, that's not good."
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, which I guess happens, but she was like, "Oh, of course, it's one of the back teeth." I'm like, "Yeah, well, put it back on now."
That's funny.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah.
So during this whole
I hope I don't have
process,
to have them on very much.
when you're
longer.
on a liquid diet like that, you probably lost a few pounds, right?
Dude, I lost 15 pounds in 1 week.
Holy cow, dude!
Yeah,
15 pounds in 1 week is like
dude, it was not fun. Yeah,
not bueno.
it was bad because I'd like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could lose 15 pounds in a week,
not in this method. I
not
would,
healthy, but
would not recommend.
who in this world wouldn't want to lose some weight? you
Yeah,
know?
no, I get that, but man, it was so bad and it was so depressing because I'm sitting there in bed and I'm like, I've got my mouth wired shut and I'm just like, man, I would kill someone right now to be able to eat Whataburger or like chicken strips or so I'm just like, because you can't eat anything at all.
I bet it was worse.
Everything I had to consume was through that fucking syringe, and it sucked.
Oh, that's horrible.
My dad actually, and of course, it's around Christmas time, my surgery was less than a week before Christmas. So all the family and relatives that came over, my parents are cooking all this good food.
I was going to say, I bet it was much worse when you got home. Yeah.
Dude, everyone was like, everyone's eating all this good food, and, everyone's out, just asking me like, oh, what's, like, how you feeling? I'm just like, just give them a thumbs up and just walk off.
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of kicking me in the nuts, which I didn't mind,
Yeah, of course.
Everyone knows I had a pretty good sense of humor about it, relatively. There were some days where I was just I didn't want to do anything but sleep just because I wanted to pass the time quicker.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Dude, yeah. And like Christmas Eve or something, like my parents or someone made enchiladas.
Oh, God.
And so my dad, again, everything I have to consume is through a syringe and via blender usually beforehand.
Oh, God.
So my dad took an enchilada and some salsa and threw it in the blender and poured it into a bowl for me. And it was so gross, but at the same time, it was disgusting. But at the
I was
same
going to say, was it even good?
it wasn't. It was really spicy because it was a little more spicy than I expected.
That's funny.
But I had it. I'm slurping down this liquid enchilada.
That's funny.
It was gross, but at the same time, I'm like, this actually doesn't taste that bad. It's just gross because it's liquid.
Man.
But I was like, you will be shocked at how much what you're willing to consume when you haven't eaten in a week.
That's fair. That's a good point.
It was not fun. It was very depressing. And I just wanted to sleep the entire time.
I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing.
Dude,
I would have just been like, give me all the sleeping pills
Like
all the time.
I'm just going to take more of this codeine and like pass out.
Just let me sleep for like a week straight.
Dude, yeah, and it sucks though cuz I'm trying to get up and move around cuz I could tell by the end of, a week or two, and like my muscles have deteriorated a little bit. So
Right.
everything, I don't feel as strong. But, try and get up and walk around and do stuff. And I was probably by I was probably like day 4 or 5. I was still, I was kind of up walking around doing stuff.
Okay. That raises another thought that I just
I just didn't like going up and down the stairs
I'm sure it was horrible.
because, being out of shape and
And nauseous, I'm sure.
just not feeling great going up. Like I said, dude, I didn't want to do anything to raise my heart rate because it required me to breathe more, and with my nose being swollen and my mouth being permanently shut, it felt like I was suffocating at some point.
Oh, man.
It was not fun.
It's
But
crazy.
I'm so glad that's over with.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost there. You still can't quite eat all the foods yet,
No.
but you're getting there for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up that, sleeping for like a week like that. And I was thinking about it recently. Could you imagine what your body would be like if you were in a coma for 6 months or
Dude,
something like
yeah,
that?
I
Or
don't know.
longer, and coming up from
Yeah.
that? Like,
I don't know, dude.
how hard it would be to like get your body to move around again.
You
and
probably have to relearn how to walk.
you probably would.
'Cause,
And
like,
I'm wondering
seriously-
how much like physical therapy you'd have to go to just to regain like just the tiniest bit of muscle.
Oh yeah, probably a lot. Cause like even like when I got after going a week without talking, my dad was like, I still sounded dumb. I sounded silly when I tried to talk with the splint in my mouth, but I was still able to separate my jaw. So I was kind of able to talk. I still sounded retarded, but my dad was like, I'm surprised you're able to talk as well as you are now. So I was like, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Like, dude, can you imagine if you were in a coma for like 6 months or a
Yeah.
year or longer?
Yeah.
You'd have to relearn how to do everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
That would suck. That would blow.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No, it
the only other experience I've had with something like that was I think it was like 2014 or 15. One of my good friends had a stroke, and at the time he was 25.
Oh yeah, I remember that, dude.
Yeah,
That's wild.
It's it's pretty rare, and they still never really found out exactly how the stroke came about.
Was it substance related?
No, surprisingly, it really wasn't. So
I had to ask.
yeah, of course,
Kids these days.
They said that it may have been energy drink related, but I feel like doctors just like throw that out there just to be like,
Just a blanket excuse.
yeah, because the doctors are all coked up on coffee and freaking
I know, right? Isn't
cigarettes,
it so funny?
and it's like, okay, you just gotta blame energy drinks because
they don't drink them.
yeah, exactly.
But
I
it's
was like,
funny because a lot of them still do.
yeah, I mean, think about all the young doctors or residents, like
Yeah.
residences or whatever you call them, that are on like Bang and all those horrible
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, speaking of that, you bring that up. I told you on the last episode. I told you that the doctors had 2 doctors tell me just stop it, stop drinking energy drinks, stop it right now. And I was like, okay. And the Monday before my surgery that I went in, I had a tiny Red Bull that one morning, and I'm proud to say that I still haven't had one since then.
You haven't had any energy drinks.
No, not one.
How are you not just exhausted
I don't
or have
know.
headaches?
I actually don't feel too bad.
You haven't had any
It's funny.
caffeine headaches or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think I've had some headaches where it could have been just more related to I haven't eaten anything, and just because of my whole diet had just been so fucked up in the past, couple weeks. So it's like just the ridiculous shock to my body or my has just been crazy over the past couple
That
weeks.
probably helped with kicking the energy drink.
It definitely did.
Because like if I go a day without drinking any caffeine, like I get a
Oh, yeah.
horrible migraine.
I was the same way. I really am, and I probably still am. I mean, I still consume caffeine, but I'm talking like Coke, like diet.
Yeah.
Like I drink a lot of Diet Coke, but just like Diet Coke or like Mountain Dew. Sometimes like that's about it. I mean, shit. Even tea has caffeine in it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, but yeah, like other than like just regular soft drinks, I haven't had Monster, I haven't had Red Bull, I haven't had a Bang, I haven't had 6 Bangs
God, that's horrible.
at all. So yeah, but I feel fine. I think before when I was drinking them daily, or damn near. Actually, yeah, I'd probably say daily on
Yeah.
average. Sometimes I'd go one day without them and feel terrible, or I'd have 2 in one
That's
day.
pretty much
So
where I'm at this point. Because I'm drinking coffee and an energy drink every day.
and I knew that it wasn't a good idea because, like you said, I'd get headaches if I didn't have them. And 2, also, it's like no matter how much I feel like I drank, I still wasn't awake and like not tired.
Yeah.
You
I was
know?
thinking about that the other day too, because it's like, for the average person who's either sitting at a desk or not moving around a whole lot
Yeah,
for
that's
work,
another thing.
like your body isn't made to
Sit down for
40
Yeah.
hours or
yeah. Oh yeah.
very little movement for 40 hours. So that's why you just feel so tired.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because it's like you've got to work, and America's known for being a really hardworking country
Yeah.
for the most part.
Oh yeah.
And it's just crazy how overworked we are, and that's why we keep relying on all this caffeine. But it's also because we're sitting still. I mean, think about like the days on a weekend when you're moving around like crazy, and you don't really rely on energy drinks as much,
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to what we were talking about earlier with
Your buddy.
yeah, my buddy that was at the hospital. So I guess they said that a clot had formed in one of his legs and went all the way up, and then I guess they found out that he had a hole in his heart, so it passed through his heart and then up to his brain.
That does. I mean, you do hear about like energy drink because that's what it does. I mean, it just overworks your heart.
Yeah.
and it could damage your heart, which I totally buy.
But they said
Like,
that
I
the
believe that.
hole in the heart would have been something that was, when he
Well,
was
that's
born,
yeah.
or
Like you
whatever.
have to be born with that.
Yeah, so it's crazy because he was in the
wild.
hospital for a while, and I remember spending like a good week in the hospital. Kind of same idea, right? Like he couldn't talk, but
Yeah.
for a different reason. And I remember having to like help him learn how to talk again,
Jeez.
which is crazy. Like for
yeah, trying to teach a 20-some-year-old how to talk. It's like this is weird.
it was an interesting experience because as humans we innately want to finish each other's sentences. If like you have a hard time.
I do that a little too much. I know.
Everybody does it. I mean, I do it like crazy, and I had to at the time I had to get really good at not finishing his sentences because basically when your brain is learning how to formulate sentences again, if somebody finishes a sentence for you, then your brain thinks, "Oh, I guess I didn't need to do that." So it starts relying on people to finish the sentence, and then he'll never be able to figure out what those words were to finish
yeah.
that sentence.
Huh.
So that was an interesting experience just because of the fact that it was like not only am I teaching him how to talk again, but it's also I can't finish a sentence, and that's one of those small things that people don't really think about on a daily
Yeah.
basis that we rely on so much.
Huh.
So that was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, that was probably the last time I was in the hospital for that long with somebody that wasn't, you know, myself.
Well, you know,
So it's just
I will
crazy to
say
think
it's
about.
probably a good thing you didn't come and visit me in the hospital. Because I, one, probably looked ridiculous, and two, I was probably sleeping a lot, and yeah, it would have probably been really boring. I originally actually I told my parents, I was like, y'all don't have to spend the night with me in the hospital. Like, I don't want y'all to have to do that. You know, it's boring as hell.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I felt terrible, and it was mainly the whole, like, I have trouble communicating with, you know, like,
Yeah, I'm sure it was extremely frustrating.
well, no, it wasn't even that. It was, I think it was maybe like in the moment, my fear was like, no one's going to be able to attend to what I needed, you know?
Yeah, because you couldn't communicate it.
Yeah, because I can't talk.
Yeah.
And it was weird too, because I had to, you know, my mom's sleeping in the same room with me, and she was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, well, you know, I'm gonna fall asleep if I need something in the middle of the night. How am I gonna, you know, if she's asleep, what am I gonna do? I know I had like a nurse call button,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to have to, you know.
You should have gotten like a cattle prod.
So no,
like-
so what my mom, yeah. So I told you I had a pen and notepad with me,
you
and
just
so
threw
my
a pen at her?
No, so no, but I could have, you know, like my mom was like, she was like, so if she was like, well, I guess if you need anything in the middle of the night, just like tap really hard on the table with the pen. So I actually had to do that one time. I had to get, you know, I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and you know, just getting out of bed at that point, you know, the day after was still very scary.
Man.
Because like that was after the first time I gotten out of bed and try and wheel my IV into the bathroom with me. I felt so dizzy and so nauseous just getting up.
Oh man, I'm sure.
So I was like afraid to get out of bed because I thought I was going to throw up blood again.
Jeez. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Dude, yeah, it wasn't fun. But so I did, yeah, so I had to, like, I fell asleep in the middle of the night. I'm sleeping and my mom's asleep, and I like have to go to the bathroom. And so, so I just take my pen and just go on the table next to me. And I'm like doing it, like, and you know, my mom kind of like finally wakes up after I'm just like a judge and a gavel just. Oh, but
I was
yeah.
gonna say, I was going to ask if it was even effective.
It took a minute, but you know, you're probably not very it's probably very unnatural to wake up to that noise, a pen tapping on a table.
Yeah, I bet.
So yeah,
That went down the wrong pipe.
oh no, we're gonna have
Excuse
to,
me.
we're gonna have to put you in a coma.
Yes.
So yeah, it was not the best holiday break for me. New Year's was not as fun either. I mean, no, it was. I mean, New Year's was better than Christmas. That's for damn
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I hung out with you for New Year's.
Yeah. I
'Cause,
tried to.
you know, I was kind of an asshole and didn't see you when you were
I did give you shit for
inept. I know.
that because couple of the other two guys came over and
Well,
I had to-
nobody even told me that you came over. Like,
I know,
so I wasn't
I know.
even aware.
well, you know how
I'm
those
still not
particular
forgiving
two
myself
are.
for it,
those
but
two,
still.
those two particular people are, you know, they travel in a pair most of the time when he's here.
Oh,
Zach and
yeah.
Hunter.
Well, yeah. Also, most of our people in our group aren't really great at communication.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. We all suck. But anyways,
Yeah.
Well, they came over when I was still incapable, sorry, of talking. So I took them into the media room, and I turned on my parents' TV and switched it to the Apple TV, and I threw my phone up on the TV to do some screen mirroring, and whatever questions they had for me, I would answer via notes on my phone that would show up on the screen behind me.
What would we do without technology?
Right, I know. It was, yeah. We had a lot of laughs too. I think, yeah, that when they came over, it was seriously like I don't think they understood how, because I was so bored and going borderline insane. They came over and made me laugh to where it hurt just because I'm trying to open my mouth and laugh, but it hurt.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't even think about that.
But it still was worth
I'm so
it.
glad that I have like a billion movies at my apartment.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I would be binging movies and sleeping
I don't,
for a week straight.
but I was also not here,
Yeah.
so
But I would have like
Yeah.
had somebody go get them for me and bring them over because
Yeah.
I would have been binging movies all week.
I did take advantage of my parents' media room.
That's what I would have done on one of those big old bean bags.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched John Wick on Christmas by myself.
Speaking of Christmas, did you get anything cool?
I
Did you,
mean,
like,
my parents gave me some money. That's always cool.
yeah, money's cool.
Yeah, no, they get what? One of the things I get that my parents gave me because of they have jokes. They have
Yeah.
jokes, and my parents got me a flask with a gun on it.
Nice. I got a flask too for Christmas.
And I was like, what screams Connor more than a flask with a gun on it?
Yeah, of course. It's funny. My parents have a similar humor because I got a flask as well.
Yeah.
But my dad got me valve stem caps that are made out of the shells of a 40 Smith and Wesson.
Yeah. I
So
remember seeing
what
that.
better to put that on a VA Camaro,
Yeah,
know? So
'cause
that's
America.
Yeah, because America. Speaking of bullet shells, for Christmas I got a Russian
Oh, yes.
1942 hammer and sickle Mosin Nagant. It legitimately has the hammer and sickle
Yeah,
like
I know.
imprinted on it, 1942.
Yeah,
Like,
he showed me that. That's
dude,
kind of
it's
cool.
It's pretty cool.
That thing probably killed people.
It more than anything probably killed a couple Germans.
Yeah,
it had to have.
Well, yeah. I mean, and Russia being not the greatest country, but still on our side,
Yeah,
kinda.
kind of.
It still probably killed some Nazis. So the irony in you owning a gun that I would probably bet money on that probably killed Nazis.
Oh yeah, which is cool.
But now we're the ones getting called Nazis.
Oh, I know, it's great. No,
Isn't
the
that
beauty,
funny how that works?
the beauty and the irony is, so that gun comes from Russia. Russia is known for their communism.
Yes.
The going joke for liberals is that they're very socialist, which is not a far stone
it's
throw
damn
from
near
communism, right?
communism,
So it's
yeah.
basically communism. So the idea would be funny if just imagine with me for a moment that we have a civil war, right?
I'm listening.
If I have to protect myself with a firearm
Yeah.
and I use my communism rifle to kill a liberal who's in support of communism, do you think it's ironic?
Let's just say defend yourself. Let's say defend yourself from communism
With communism.
with communism, or a gun that has gone through communism.
I love that ironic note
That's
that it's
so
like
funny.
if I were to end somebody's life with that rifle, communism killed somebody who supports communism. It's great.
I know.
So that was a good Christmas
The
present.
logic of liberals.
And it's funny because they printed like a billion of those.
Yeah.
So like they're not worth anything. It was like $350.
Yeah, and I'm
So, like-
surprised you paid that much for it. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, because like some of the other ones that were like $250 were like kind of like cheap knockoffs and you know like
you had to have the one with the hammer and sickle.
oh yeah. I had to have an authentic Russian
Yeah,
Mosin
yeah.
Nagant.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting.
That's cool.
So Christmas was pretty cool. New Year's though was kind of fun. I mean, I know
we
you
hung
weren't.
out. Yeah, you came over. We hung out on. I once again hijacked my parents' media room, and we watched a nice quality film and
Lone Survivor, right?
Yeah, and I attempted to eat Whataburger. That was when I still had my splint in, so like I was still very, very sore.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't.
And you had a big old lisp.
I wasn't supposed to be really chewing anything, but I wanted some nice greasy Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea how much I was wanting just any sort of like
Solid
fast
foods.
food burger. No, I mean not even just the fact that it's like I want to taste Whataburger.
Yeah,
I was
true.
like dying.
It's an addiction for sure.
Dude. Oh, it's just again, it's once you go a week without consuming anything like that, I mean, you literally go insane.
Man.
It sucks. And so I had to I got me a nice patty melt, and I'm like cutting it up to where a 2-year-old can consume it. But it tasted amazing.
That's funny.
But it was on New Year's Eve, so I was surprised we didn't have to wait in a giant drive-through line. Being New Year's Eve and all, and
That's true. But we did get it relatively early in the evening.
Yeah, that was true. We didn't. Again, that's why I threw that's why I threw the party that I threw before I even had my surgery. That way, I could just get it over with. Just one more rager for the year, because I knew I wasn't gonna be feeling good.
Oh,
for
I've still
New Year's.
got blackmail if you passed out on my phone.
I wouldn't blackmail. I'm already seen it.
Yeah, but it's blackmail because I could use it to my
Go
advantage.
ahead. I don't care.
Okay, fine.
It's not really blackmail when I don't really give a shit.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely was passed out. Yeah.
But it's funny just how much of a weight difference from that photo, which was like the weekend before your surgery, to what you look like now. It's crazy.
Probably. Dude. Yeah, but if
No,
you
seriously, it's crazy. Between the underbite and the weight you've lost, it's a big difference.
Well, I appreciate it. Now hop off my dick. I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry. This is Connor speaking.
Yeah.
Man, I've got a splint in my mouth, so I'm gonna go crave some super delicious hamburger.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
That was you for like 3 weeks.
No, it definitely was.
So that was a good
It was
interpretation.
annoying. It was as annoying for me than it was for you.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
But
Anyway, so New Year's was cool because it was pretty chill.
it was chill,
Pretty chill.
Yeah.
We had the old cigars, smoking
Yeah.
by a fireplace.
Yeah, it was cool.
Kind of just
It
chilling.
was, again, we weren't going crazy.
Your pops gave us some nice alcoholic beverages.
Oh yeah, he popped some champagne.
Popped some French champagne,
Yeah.
champagne.
Yes. That was cool.
That was cool. You
yeah,
know, what I mean,
again, it was a chill night. I kind of had a feeling that was going to be how it ended up.
I'm stuck
Now
because there's
next
times.
New Year's, we're gonna go fucking nuts.
That's exactly where I was gonna go at. Was like I'm kind of conflicted because there's something cool about going ham for New Year's, but
yeah, dude. Like
there's
that,
also something cool about just like having a chill night
for
too.
sure. And I would have probably taken advantage of either option if I wasn't in as the pain that I was in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't,
Because you can't really have like a
consume
rager unless
food.
you plan for it. If it's the night of New Year's, it's hard to find like get a rager.
That's why I
planned,
told you
unless you're still in college.
yeah. Then you could just walk down the street and find a party.
Yeah. Just walk up to the local frat house with a
Yeah.
6-pack and 2 girls.
Yeah,
You're in.
yeah, right. I know, and but yeah, that's why, dude. Yeah, like the party I had was, I think, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago, because last New Year's Eve was pretty boring too. But a couple years ago, the one you did, my party that you didn't attend because you decided to go off somewhere else, and
Yeah, that was a pretty bad night.
that was a great night. For
That was
me.
great for you guys.
I know,
But it was, thankfully I had,
No, I know.
thankfully I had Steven there with me
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
hang out with me in my low point of life. That was a dark place. for me
I'm
at that
telling
time.
you could have been at least lifted up just a little
I
bit
know,
by
I-
attending my party,
and I
because I
should
tell
have.
you what,
Yeah.
the attached garage comes in clutch for beer pong.
I know.
When I had, it was like me and like Adam Hunter, and then there was like 3 dudes that like I hadn't seen since like elementary school that like turned out to be Republican AF, and I was like, besties.
Nice.
It was cool. It was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite parties that I've ever had. That was fun. But it's I went back to work probably exactly 2 weeks after my surgery, and of course my coworkers made fun of me. I still
of
talk
course.
silly, but I was to be expected.
Hey guys, I need to go and grab an RJ-45. I need to go plug it into the socket and go over to this rack server. So I can go and get your lighting all set up. I'm just gonna go from device to device to device.
Oh, dude, did I tell you I had to call tech support? There was one day where I was by myself.
Thank you for calling tech support. This is Connor speaking.
I had to call tech support, and the guy was clearly just so put out, and he was clearly losing his patience with me.
I just need some help. I can't understand you.
Yeah.
Just help me.
Dude, it was bad. I felt,
Sir, I cannot understand you.
I felt he understood me, but I could tell it was very hard for him too, and I felt bad for him. But
That's funny.
I appreciate.
You should
'cause
have
most
one
of
of
the
your
guys,
buddies call for you or something like that.
Well, I was by myself at the house, so
okay,
I couldn't. I was by myself.
I need some tech support. Please.
Exactly what it was, but
That's funny.
yeah, other than that, I didn't do much else. Before I went back to work, I had, I had my female friend come over and stay for a little bit, and that was about it. Well, we went and saw The Mule too. By the way, you need to see that movie.
I know. I want to see it.
You need to see that
know.
movie. I love Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I feel like I wish he was my grandfather.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
he's a
like,
badass
yeah,
for sure.
no, he really is. The fact that he's damn near 90, still kicking ass in movies, acting and producing, and directing and stuff like that, like all of the above. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's
Pretty
a badass
impressive
for sure.
It's pretty impressive, and how incredibly a Republican he is.
I know.
It's great. I mean, it's only well, I was gonna say most people that are that old are usually, but at the same time, you have all these
I don't know. I've met some
liberal
old
nut
people.
jobs that are
Yeah.
still in their they're in their 80s or 70s and they're old and they still are like for effing socialism.
I
And I'm
know.
like, do you have a brain?
Clearly not.
So
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was hanging out with this female who I had just ended the first day with, and we came back for some Netflix and cuddles because we weren't quite to the chill state yet. And she saw my American flag on the back of my wall, which is because America. And she was like,
of course.
she was like, so do you like Trump? And I was like, I don't know.
Oh, that's so great.
I was like, yeah, I do. And she was like, well, he's not my president. And I was like,
Get out.
How do I respond to this?
No, you try.
Because I'm like, I either go so far where she just wants to leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or
I haven't
try to
actually
play it,
done with that. I haven't
or I
done
play
that.
it safe so she can still hang out. Because I don't completely
out.
hate her,
Yeah. No.
Um,
But that's
She's cool, but at the same time, it's like, well, so here, let's break this down real quick. So
Yeah.
you live in America, okay? Step one.
yeah.
You're an American citizen.
Yeah.
All right. Step two. There was somebody elected into office to lead the American country.
Mm-hmm.
Check three. So he is your president.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get this whole "not my president" thing. It's like he is the president. He is
Yeah.
leader of this great nation.
Yeah.
And,
Just like I would-
and you're
I
a
would-
citizzen of it. If he's not your
Yeah.
president, then that means you do
Get
not
the
live
fuck
in the
out of the
city.
country.
Yeah. If he's not your president, then you are not a citizen of this.
Yeah, 'cause
of this wonderful country.
Yeah, because I guarantee you, any of these illegal immigrants that are coming into this country, you wouldn't give up your spot for them, as
No.
much as you want to say you would.
Yeah.
You don't. You wouldn't.
Yeah. So I'm
Go
like,
try spending a good day or two in one of these third world countries.
yeah, I was gonna
that
say,
are
if he's
just-
not your president, go to Canada or Mexico or anywhere else. In the world,
anywhere there's violent crimes and
Yeah.
just on the daily, like it's no one's business, i.e. Mexico.
yeah.
Like you wouldn't last, and nor would you
Or anywhere
want to be
now.
down there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's funny how I haven't gotten to that point where, and I don't know if I will, being as I'm not single, but the whole having a girl over and then they're like, well, they engage in the whole the political conversation, and you find out that they don't like Trump, and then you're
Yeah.
just like, well, do I go the route of where I can kind of try and just
Get off the topic.
pussyfoot my way around
Yeah.
around this topic, or do I just go, you know what? I don't like you. This isn't gonna work anyway. So let me tell you
Yeah.
something, and you're just like, well, let me just enlighten you
Because you kind of have to analyze this situation.
and just
Like,
go
she's-
far, just
she's
real far.
She's a super cool chick. So I was like, I guess
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just pussyfoot around it and say, oh, let's not talk about politics.
Yeah. But
while she probably doesn't know that we have a very conservative podcast, which I think is hilarious.
yeah, fuck them.
You know, it's funny. So, like, she has no problem with guns or anything like that, but she's just like, not my president. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with
Okay,
you?
so let me ask you this. Did you ask her any other questions politic related? Like on the
No.
on the main, top, like, so she likes guns.
Yeah, that was the only thing that we talked about politically before she made that stupid statement. And then I was like, I guess we're going to stop talking about politics because...
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Because when somebody... So, my thought process
But
was...
when anyone says that statement, Trump's not my president, I automatically think, okay, this person's not going to want to engage in a calm, logical conversation.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
So
Yeah.
I can definitely see why you would just be like, all right, let's just not talk about this, because you're clearly not gonna want to hear anything I have to say,
Yeah.
or you're not gonna want to engage in any sort of civil debate,
Yeah, for sure.
because the radical left.
It's one thing if they
want to
have the conversation about it, but it's another when they say typical catchphrases like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, where it's
I was just
like-
like, it's not even worth the fight. I'm
Yeah,
just,
no.
I'm just like, let's just not talk about this.
Yeah. No, you're right. Have you called her since?
I mean,
Please say no. Please say no.
we've chatted, but we have not
Yeah, hung
hung out
again.
since then.
Yeah, you probably should.
I know.
You probably should. You
Well,
should
we'll
probably
see.
kick that one to the curb. Yeah, I'm actually, again, this is why I'm like, I say I don't know if I'll be in that situation again or anytime soon or whatever. I'm just incredibly glad that me and my plus one agree on most of those,
Yeah.
most topics and views on things. We're pretty aligned, and it's great.
For sure.
But yeah, because that was one thing that always bothered the shit out of me. Because one, I mean, women are women are more emotional just in general, because they're women. Women are emotional. They think more
Yes.
emotional than men.
It's biological.
Yeah. Get over it. But like
Two genders.
That's why. Yeah. Just by the way, two genders change my mind. Just
I
gonna
don't
drop
know
that bomb.
I don't know if I made this joke before in a podcast, but I still think it's I still think it's hilarious. Is like when you go to like
Oh my God.
shop
I
for
already know what you're gonna.
clothes.
I already know what you're gonna say. I know, it's so funny.
It's like you get
well,
a male or a female shirt, or
and then what's funny is every single person that thinks that there's like 50,000 genders, where they're just like, well, we have to pick one.
yeah.
It's like, well, you gotta choose. I mean, like, let's be logical. Let's be real here. Are you a male or female? Like, just pick one.
Logic troll, like that's a troll. I don't like don't use the
Yeah.
word logic around me.
Yeah,
please.
that's gonna
Triggers
offend
me.
people.
It's 2019, Connor.
I'm gonna quite literally stab you. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I might welcome that. Just saying,
me
like it's-
stabbing you?
Yeah, I mean, do I really want to live in a world like this?
Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The government's basically trying to get rid of all things that I love about cars. They're trying to get rid of all things I love about guns.
that's true.
They're just
Although
the majority of the things that I love in this world are slowly being taken away from me because people are dumb.
yeah, that's true. Although I will say, I watched the address to the nation, and I thought it was actually really good. I know it could have been better. From Trump, I'm critiquing Trump here, by the way, boys and girls. I'm actually criticizing slightly
Our Lord and
stuff.
Savior, how dare you?
Because Republicans are all one-sided and blah blah blah. No,
No.
I think
Incorrect.
I think it could have been a little bit better, but I will say what's funny is, and this has been said by several people that I listen to, that it's Trump is so lucky to have an opponent that's like 100 times dumber and less with the times, and that just are so incredibly repulsive when it comes to their response of that one. And so Trump gave his address to the nation or whatever from the Oval Office, pitching why we need a border wall, which I'm all for. A mere $5 billion
it's
to
nothing.
fund the wall. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not. It's funny how all of a sudden Democrats want to be penny pinchers when they just love spending everyone's money because, they love taxing people and they love taking everyone else's money more so than necessary.
Because they think emotionally, not logically.
And they just like to spend money just frantically.
Yes.
But all of a sudden now they're just like, no, it's an ineffective and expensive wall. It's $5 billion, which is like a drop in the bucket for whatever, the normal bullshit they spend their money
The
on.
funny part about it is there's been so many candidates or so many presidents who've made an address saying that we need to strengthen our border security. Obama said that.
Chuck Schumer used to be in favor of a border wall.
I know.
And now that Trump wants a border wall, he's like, no, we don't need it. It's
I'm just gonna
inexpensive.
sit crisscross on the floor and just pretend
no,
like
it's because Trump is in favor of it. Therefore, they have to be.
I know, but
against
it's so
it.
dumb that they're throwing a temper tantrum for this government shutdown just because they don't agree with it. They're throwing a temper tantrum. Obama said he wanted border control. Clinton said he wanted border control.
Yeah.
JFK said he wanted border control. Every president we've ever had has said
Because it's
at
logical.
some point that we need border control because
It's only makes
it
sense.
affects your nation
Yeah.
either negatively or positively. Either way, it affects your nation. So there needs to be some sort of border control.
Yeah, like Trump said, it's just common sense. Why would you want bad people? I'm not saying all of them are bad.
No, of course not.
Like again, just taken out of context, however much they can. Not all of them are bad, but a good amount of the crime and drugs that come into this country are from Mexico.
Yeah.
But no, again, people don't want to acknowledge that.
And Mexico gets a lot of their stuff from the Middle East.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's like large deposits of opium come from the Middle East.
Really,
Yeah.
I actually didn't even know that.
I've heard of weed and some coke
Actually,
coming in
yes.
from the Middle East.
No, I
but-
have heard that. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
but either way, it's like
Or
it's
Cuba.
still
Yeah,
getting
or whatever.
funneled up through the border.
Yeah.
Which is a joke. But
I mean, it's smart, right? If you're a Middle Eastern person,
Yeah.
you're like, well, I have a harder chance of getting in. But these people who are crossing the border every day, that's pretty smart.
yeah, right. Because they can just walk right in.
Yeah, they'll just waltz right into the fucking country.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I'm sure you've seen this because it's been all over the internet ever since. When Trump gave his address, and then the Democrats had their time to, respond to his address. So it was Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi just sitting there glaring at the camera so awkwardly. They look like fucking vampires. They're just standing there, and first like Pelosi speaking, and Chuck Schumer's just looking in the camera like.
I did see that.
Dude,
Because there's that stereotypical
Oh my god, it was so just
the husband
painful.
and wife photo where the husband's got the pitchfork in his
yeah,
hand.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I've
talking
seen
about.
that. I've seen that
Dude,
meme.
it was so painful to watch because they talk like robots and they seriously, like, dude, not one Democrat has been able to give a good argument on why a wall wouldn't work or is a bad idea.
No, they're just gonna sit on the floor and have a temper tantrum.
No, they just bitch about, hey, we shouldn't shut down the government. That's what, have you noticed that? Like, that's what they always divert their argument to. It's like, we don't need a wall. But people, since the government's being shut down or is in shutdown right now, people are not getting paid and government workers aren't getting their paychecks and they're having to, they can't feed their families and this and that. Again, they're just like, if you would just fund, like, or just give a bit, make a bill or whatever that just gives funding for a wall that's $5 billion, sounds like a lot of money. It's really not. That, like Trump said, it literally would pay for itself.
Yes, absolutely.
Because people that come in this country just tank the they tank the economy.
Yeah.
They don't contribute.
Yeah.
So
Whether people want to agree with it or not, even
they just wanna
though
divert
Trump
it.
isn't a politician, he is still a businessman. And if you look at our country from a business standpoint, because we're capitalistic, it's a business. That's how a country runs. That's
Yeah.
how it functions.
You get rid of people that don't contribute.
Correct.
Or,
Yeah.
like just like a job. If you're not contributing, if you're doing poorly, you're going to get fucking fired.
Oh no, it's 2019. It's all about living on welfare now. We're staying at home doing nothing because
By the
you've
way,
got
people that-
16 children. You need money for it because you're too lazy to work.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like you said, and actually, it's only a partial government shutdown. People that unfortunately,
Yeah, it's not like our post office still isn't working.
that and people that live off the welfare, they're still getting their welfare.
Of course they are.
checks.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have
So I have-
welfare out there, but too many people abuse it. They're like,
No,
well, I
I
can
know,
just
but
leave my
that's-
wife because she's going to get paid, and
but
I
that's
don't
also
have to.
why I when Nancy Pelosi's bitching about people not getting paid, I'm like, well, the people on welfare are still getting their welfare checks.
Yeah.
So it's only really the non-essential.
And it's not like those people
government
aren't already
employees.
loaded off their ass anyways. So it's
No.
like, oh, I need more money.
Well, you shouldn't work for the government then, because you know what? Everyone,
Yeah.
the incentive to be productive in the government is really not that high, in my opinion. Because it's the government. Like I've said before, like you've said before. You ever stood in line at a DMV? It's like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a great example.
Or you get a package, tracking number for, the United States Postal Service.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it'll be delivered on this day, and then it shows up a week later. And
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
great.
Where it's Amazon, it's actually the complete opposite.
yeah.
It's like, oh, cool, my package, and I don't even have Prime. Believe it or not, I don't even have Prime, and I'm like, oh, cool, my package will be here on the 13th. It's here on the 10th.
Yeah, I'm definitely spoiled by Prime. I'm like,
Dude.
dude, what package can I get today?
Yeah, what package
Or
can
tomorrow.
I get now?
Speaking of which, I need to order a new lid for my tumbler. I dropped it at the gym today. Yeah, I cracked it again.
You cracked it by dropping it?
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? were you
Not the
doing? You
tumbler
throw it
itself.
across the
but-
tray?
No.
Oh.
Let me specify. Not the tumbler itself cracked. I mean, the lid did because it's made out of like that plastic or whatever.
Still, it's not that weak.
I know. And this is the second
Did you
time I've
throw
cracked
it?
it.
Did you throw it at a gym head or a gym rat?
Yeah, no, I was roiding up, so I threw it at somebody. No, I was just
You
getting
still
my...
had the syringe in your ass.
Yeah. And I'm like, my blood's all... My blood... No, I was just... It was so much less climactic than that. I was getting my jacket out of my locker and knocked it over. And of course, it was the top locker, so it, yeah.
Aw. What'd you do that for?
Shedding one tear.
R.I.P.
I'm
Mixed
afraid that I'm
tumbler
going to
lid.
stop drinking water now because that tumbler is what I relied on to make sure I had a water source at all times.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stop drinking water
Dude,
until
go
I get it
buy
fixed.
what you gave me. You
I
gave
know.
me that tumbler over
But
there.
I'm spoiled by Arctic. Oh, because fuck Yeti. I'm I'm spoiled by Arctic. They make good tumblers.
Didn't you tell me that tumbler cost like $7? Why
Yeah,
don't you go buy
yeah.
a fucking tumbler
So
with
for
a
those
lid
who
on
don't,
it
so those for
and
who
just
don't
steal
know,
the lid?
so for those who don't know,
Okay.
Yeti had a patent on tumblers. You
Oh,
know,
did
like,
they really?
And they didn't. It either ran out or they never like put the legal paperwork through for them to own the rights to the patent on the tumbler design. So that's why you see Ozark from Walmart, and Arctic making tumblers that are identical to Yetis.
I was gonna say I didn't think a tumbler, like a certain shape of a cup, is essentially what it is.
Yeah, that's the technology in it and the shape, which would be part of the patent. Which
I wouldn't have thought you could patent something like that.
you totally can. In fact, I remember there was a
Interesting.
lawsuit on a patent for a particular shape of a phone that Samsung was trying to go after Apple for.
Really?
Yeah, there's crazy patents on just about anything nowadays.
That's true.
you
You're
know?
all right.
Like I think they tried to do a patent on the shape of the MacBooks, and the laptop market and whatnot. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
But yeah, so think of all the money that Yeti could have made having the only tumbler in the world like that, but now it's got like Ozark from Walmart for like
I know.
$7.
Yeti done fucked up.
Yeah, I love that Ozark, and it keeps it warmer hot for a while, but the Arctic one lasts for like forever. I'll wake up like 2 days later and it's still chilled cold.
Yeah. I've left my that $7 tumbler that you gave me.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude. Yeah, I've left it with ice and water in it at work on my desk, and I'll come back in the next morning and there's still ice in
Yeah.
it.
It's great.
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm spoiled by tumblers. It's great.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're definitely wonderful when it comes to like taking beverages into work.
Yes,
Um,
they're great for just about anything. I mean, you could put alcohol in there. You could put
Huh, yeah.
alcohol in there. You could put water
Yeah, that's true.
and alcohol
And more alcohol
and coffee, I guess.
with alcohol.
Yeah, with alcohol, water with alcohol.
Baileys and the coffee.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that, by the way?
Yes, it's delicious.
Really?
Oh my god.
I don't like coffee. You know this?
Yeah, I went on a date with some chick, and
But I've had
coffee with
Baileys.
Bailey's in it. So good.
Yeah. Okay. I've had Baileys.
But I'm kind of a
it's
wuss, so
actually
I can't drink my coffee right out the gate. I have to wait 30 minutes for it to cool down, otherwise it burns my mouth.
No, I'm sure.
But when you have I had I'm kind of a girl, basic bitch, but I had almond milk in there, and
you
then I had
you
Bailey's.
do frequent Starbucks.
I do. I love me some Starbucks, man. I hate the company, but man, they make some damn good coffee.
Dude, you know what? They should another company that's like Republican and right leaning should make like a knockoff Starbucks.
That would be awesome.
I wonder how much. I mean, they'd probably do just fine. Starbucks would have its.
I mean, Dunkin' Donuts isn't far behind them, but
Yeah,
you know,
but Starbucks still has its loyal, customer
Yeah,
base.
yeah,
But
yeah.
how I just think it'd be funny, and how much business would they lose, just because a
I'm
conservative coffee chain like Black Rifle Coffee,
yeah,
like if they started to have a store like that,
yeah, that would be dope
that
for
would,
sure.
I would
Yeah.
start
if every
drinking
employee was
coffee. I
wearing
would stop.
grunt style shirts, I would buy
Dude,
it.
I would start drinking coffee and frequent that store just if that happened.
Yeah, of course.
Just so I could say fuck you to Starbucks, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sucks because I'm so cucked by Starbucks.
Oh my
'cause I'm
God.
just so spoiled by it now. But I try
comment.
to get my Dunkin' Donut fill for the week.
Yeah. So one last thing I wanted to mention this to you, because we're at an hour 11 right now, Nick.
Ooh.
So
Shout out to the 3-letter agency.
that particular someone knows exactly what we're talking about. Love you, buddy. So
Kisses, love you.
Okay, that's all right. That's enough. What
was
I
that?
gonna say? Oh yeah. So I was listening to The Ticket the other day, and one of the guys mentioned that he was at Starbucks, and this wasn't the point of his story. It was just a minor detail that I heard it, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So, and again, you may know this, and this may be old news to you, because you go to Starbucks, and it's incredibly left-leaning liberal company.
Very much.
That the person that was taking his order, at the Starbucks or whatever.
I think
Starbucks,
I heard the skit. Yeah,
and he was. It wasn't a skit. It was a legitimate
or not
story.
skit, but I mean, what I mean, like the segment, I guess.
So apparently, he was wearing a name tag, or there was a sign or some sort of notification next to him or on him, around his person,
Yeah.
of the pronouns that you could address him as. Him, her, Z, it, thing, whatever.
Yeah,
The thing.
yeah, I saw that. I heard that segment.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not surprised, even the slightest. Yeah.
Okay, so now again, I know this is old news, but the fact that it's being implemented into companies now as a policy. Like in New York, in New York, you can legally change your M or F on your driver's license to X, as in no gender or non-gender, fluid, dick, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is happening right now.
Yeah, I know.
This shit like this has consequences in real life.
I know.
that people don't fucking realize.
Like I say this in a joke, but the meme from Futurama where he's like, I don't want to be on this planet
no,
anymore.
it really
Yeah.
it's so true.
No, it's bad.
I do not dude. If I lived in New York, I would seriously be like, I'm fucking gone. This is this. I mean, that state's been incredibly blue for a while now.
The problem
but
is that these things are happening,
Jesus.
and they're coming to states, and they're bringing their
Oh,
beliefs
yeah.
with them.
yeah,
so-
companies. You mean?
Companies or people. I mean,
Particularly to our area.
yeah, that's what I'm
this.
saying. California, people from New York
Oh,
are coming
yeah.
to Texas just because they're like, oh, that place is doing great. It's
Toyota's
recession
here
proof.
now.
Yeah.
Toyota they came from California, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did come from California. Yeah.
Toyota, did Liberty Mutual? I know they're a big company that moved to the Frisco area. I don't know if they
I
did or
wouldn't be
not.
surprised, but I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, just a lot of California companies.
You know, I was
that
thinking about it, and I was like, so
running the state.
you have to think like. So I love bringing this up because California is beyond in debt.
Oh yeah.
They're so broke
yeah.
right now as a state that they tried to pass a bill to tax text messages.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I almost
It didn't go through, but still, the fact that
the
they
fact
tried
that
to get
it's even a thought.
yeah, and guess what? They also tried to make it to where it would be retroactive for like the last 10 years or something like that.
Meaning what?
Meaning that like they would go back and calculate how many text messages were sent for the last 10 years. Like it wouldn't be from starting now. It would have been like go back 10 years and add that just because that's how
you
broke they are.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I was watching the game last night for the Cowboys and the Rams,
That's
and they were talking about
ridiculous.
making a new LA stadium for football. And it's like, first of all, they're already having problems filling up stadiums now.
And they have an incredible
but they don't have any
homeless
money for
problem.
that. Yeah. Like they don't have
Yeah.
money to build a stadium out there. I was thinking about it.
Dude,
I was thinking about
Fuck
it. You know,
that
obviously
state.
the joke is, you know, liberals think very emotionally, not logically, but it just blows my
that's
mind.
not a joke, Nick.
I know. So
That's real.
it blows my mind that these people in California sitting here thinking, man, these, you know, like a Democrat is the way to go. But then they look at their state and it's failing, and they're coming to Texas where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
prospering and it's a Republic state. Yet they still feel like Democratic way is the way to prosper, and it
Yeah.
makes no sense to me because
But
it's,
they're moving to one of the reddest. Well, I hate saying
it's
this,
becoming purple, but yeah,
but it's still a red state.
it is.
They're coming to one of the reddest states in the country, and they're like, "Yeah, maybe we'll thrive here," and they probably are doing well. They're
For
probably
now.
doing fine. Yeah,
For now,
yeah. But again, you said the reason why it's coming purple is because one, it's Dallas, and like you said, there's a bunch of these fucking California companies coming here and trying to think that, you know, the views and the policies and all that shit from back home that works, or
Yeah,
they
I mean,
think
I was
that
work-
works,
yeah,
it doesn't.
Like I was working, I was helping set up a booth for the trade show, and trade shows are awful because it's so union based, and I never I never really understood union until I started with the trade show.
I still really don't.
And I don't know exactly the full extent of a union, but it was one of those things where like we were going up to the back so we could bring our equipment in for the trade show booth, and they were like, if you can carry it with two hands, that's okay. But if it requires a pallet jack or anything like that, you have to go through one of our employees through the union. Like
It's so gay.
by law. And it's one of those things where the joke with the union is you have to take your mandatory 15-minute break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I do that shit all the time. Like I go outside and I'm like taking a swig from, you know, my
the
monsters
mandatory
that I don't
15-minute
drink
break.
anymore.
Yeah.
Then I'm just like, yeah, I'm taking my Union 15.
But it's worse in places like California too, where you're not even allowed to carry your own equipment, and you have to have somebody bring it to your booth for you, and then you can set it up. In some places, they make it to where you have to let them. Yeah, it's so aggravating because it's so much extra money and time to like. It's such a pain in the ass. To
again,
have them do that.
it's anti-capitalistic.
Yeah, it is.
Because where it's like, oh well. Yeah, it's like the government. It's like, oh, yeah, you know, we really don't have to try our hardest because we know, you know, we're going to be taken care of.
yeah.
So it's like, why should I even try?
Oh yeah, I mean the
So I'm going to do the absolute
union workers,
bare minimum.
Yeah, the union workers were lazy as shit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I knew that. I don't even know. You don't even know what a union is to know that union workers are lazy as fuck.
Oh, of course, yeah, because they're just writing it out. So my last ending thought to this point that I was making was, you know, so I think everybody in the world probably would say California is a very beautiful state.
Oh, yeah. No, I've
like
been
the
there.
state, the land itself is
No,
very
no,
beautiful.
Yeah, the scenery, you mean.
right? Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
The
Because I've been
land-
there for work, and it's not a
So
bad
I was thinking
state.
to myself, I was like, you know, I love Texas, but I love Texas for its people, and I love Texas for like,
Its views on things.
yeah. So pretty much, it's you know, it's people
Yeah.
and its culture, right? I was like, so what if we could trade places with the people in California, and take something that is beautiful like that and make it something that could be actually like beautiful.
I think,
You know, like get rid of all the trash that's in LA and like actually make the state beautiful. You know,
Dude.
because obviously it would prosper if you had Republicans there, just
Oh, I
like
know.
Texas and Utah is.
I know.
I mean, that's really the only other state that I'd want to go to is Utah because it's mainly Republican, but it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
pretty.
Oh, yeah.
You
No,
know?
you're right.
But it's
If-
just so funny to think about how California is like dying, and it's because of the democratic nature over there. Whereas
Yeah.
if we were to trade places, I honestly hate to say it, I love Texas, but if I could take everybody
Texas
from
will-
Texas and move it over to California
Yeah,
and
but-
take them and switch spots,
Yeah,
I would do it.
But they would ruin Texas too. You know that.
yeah, but I'm saying if we could switch spots,
No, I
where-
know.
then I I would give up Texas for California because it's so pretty over there.
If we could just take the
If we can make California
if we can
super
come
red,
with our own people.
Yes.
No, I hear you.
yeah, that's kind of the idea. Is if I could take people
That
like
would be
you
an
and
interesting thing.
it would be cool. Like it's just kind of interesting thought. Like we would have the ocean, we'd have like the beautiful mountains, and we'd like and we would actually prosper in there. It wouldn't be in a drought. It wouldn't be in a debt. Like all that crap.
I know. Yeah, it would definitely be an interesting social experiment.
Yeah, it'd be a good shuffle for sure.
It would.
Yeah,
And it'd be funny to. I wonder how many of the homeless people would leave.
probably not very many unless we made them leave. Kind of like what they did with Dallas.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about it. The only reason, other than the fact that most people are liberal in California and they give to the homeless,
Yeah.
the scenery in California and the weather is so perfect that if you're going to be homeless anywhere, you might as well be homeless in California because it's
Yeah.
usually like 70 degrees all year long.
Yeah, the weather is pretty nice.
Yeah,
there.
so it's like if I could be homeless anywhere in the world.
Imagine how much more, even more productive we would be.
Oh, for sure. Instead of like, oh, hey, it's like 30 degrees outside one day and then it's 70 degrees the next
and then
day.
it's
and then
storming.
it's storming and then snowing. Yeah.
And then raining for
Yes.
a week straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I think it
That
would
would be pretty funny.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just
Yeah.
saying, you know.
Yeah, it would be interesting for sure.
Yeah, just an interesting thought. Like I said, I love Texas, man, but I love Texas for its people and the culture and the thoughts. You know,
Yeah.
if we can move that to a land where we have like places to go mountain, go shooting, like boating,
Yeah.
go in the ocean and stuff, that'd be cool
Yeah.
for sure.
I will say that, like you brought up Utah, if I did have to, if I was forced to leave Texas, I think Utah would probably be the next
that's
spot
exactly where I would
to.
go. Yeah, Adam had some good proof.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Utah's a place to go.
Well, you know why? And again, I'm gonna say some very controversial things, believe it or not. But a lot of Mormon people that I've met are kind of weird, and as weird as they can be, it's still a like you bring up Utah, or you say Utah, you think Mormons, right? Or Salt Lake City rather.
Yeah.
But same concept where it's like it's backbone. I feel like the backbone of that city, is like religion, it doesn't really matter which religion. It's like it still has that values.
Morals.
It still holds tradition and morals to its importance, and so I feel like no matter where you have that, if you have that in any state or major city, it's like it's Republican.
Yeah.
It's very red. You're gonna have a pretty decent place to live.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
probably gonna prosper, like you said.
No,
It's
if
just-
there's one place I'm moving outside of Texas, it'd be Utah for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they love their guns there too.
Yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do.
Great. That was fun going to gun shows out there when we went out there.
Oh, yeah, to Moab. That was cool.
No, not even there. Just when. Oh no, that was the last time you weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I think I had to work. Or
Me and
something
Adam
like
went
that.
to gun shows when we were done snowboarding because we were dead. He knows about that. So, well, is that all you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I think I'm good, man. I'm
We're
ready to
gonna try and get back on this.
get back on the regular schedule.
Yeah, we with my
with the surgery and the holidays, it was kind of hard to not take a hiatus.
Well, I was also trying to do the people I can count on one hand that probably listen to this podcast. I was trying to do them a favor and not have to have them suffer through my talking like a nerd.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was trying to do them a favor, and now that I can kind of talk, I'm pretty much back to normal.
Yeah.
As far as talking, I'll never be normal. Let's face it. But as far as talking and my speech goes, it's probably not going to get much better than this.
Yeah, probably not. Until you get the braces off.
Yeah, but even then, it's like I feel like that wouldn't even do a whole lot of a difference. I may look better. I probably won't sound better.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I see what you're doing. All right, that's it.
All right. Bye.
Don't ever do that again.